So if you're interested in working in Canada, there's a couple of things you want to consider. There's a number of different ways that you can get into Canada and obtain a work permit depending on a couple of different factors. So there's things like the Labour Market Impact Assessment, GATS agreements, the NAFTA agreement. Depending on whether or not you come from a country that has an agreement with Canada, you may or may not require the Labour Market Impact Assessment, which is the second step to obtaining a work permit. The first step to obtaining a work permit is finding an eligible employer in Canada. You want to make sure that you have this valid job offer before you endeavor to obtain a work permit. Now again, depending on your country of citizenship, it changes whether or not you're able to apply from inside or outside Canada, if you can apply at a port of entry, whether you require any sort of additional documents, whether or not the labor market assessment comes into play in a situation like this. So keep in mind these factors, because obviously a work permit can lead to many other different routes in Canada as well. That being said, depending on your intended job duties and depending on your intended occupation, having a work permit in Canada can actually lead to permanent residence. So through the Canadian Experience class. So you want to make sure that you have a clear sense of what your purpose is in Canada, whether it's short-term or long-term, and whether or not you are looking for the right occupation. Because if you don't meet a skill level of A, B, or O, you won't qualify for CEC and you won't be able to apply for permanent residence with that occupation. So keep in mind these long-term goals when you make these short-term steps, because they will have an impact on your future in Canada. So I hope that you have a clear understanding now of the basics or the general surroundings of what a work permit involves. And keep in mind that, again, it is a lengthy process. So the Labour Market Impact Assessment, if you need it, can take up to 6 months to obtain. And then you have to apply subsequently for the work permit, which can take up to another 6 months. So these are all the things you need to factor in. And I know it can be a lot to take in, which is why that people come and why clients often come to us and choose us to help them. We have a wealth of knowledge in these matters, and we've helped many people obtain their status in Canada. So if you have questions or concerns about working in Canada, contact us and we'll be happy to help. Thanks for joining me.